So yeah, we'll go through this piece. Let's see, we can squeeze her in there. Yeah, this was 1995, I believe, June. Yeah, the first Friday was the shit. Some people like the ones after it. I mean, they were good, but the first Friday was the shit. That was the original. And back in the day, they started with the hemp jeans in like 1995 in the 90s. These things would cost you like shit, $100 or something. Hemp clothes were expensive as hell back in the day. And then they had the fucking hotline back in the day, the High Times hotline. That drug testing information, quotes for different bud around the country, the travel line, grow tips, the talking centerfold, the political action line. How much was that motherfucker a minute? Uh, Only $1.95 a minute, not bad. Yeah, still got some of these call lines in these magazines. Type chat line and talk to a woman like $3.99 a minute, all kinds of crazy shit. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, we got the one. I got the Kurt Cobain magazine. I thought that was Kurt for a minute. But that's probably Dwayne Allman, I'm thinking. Yeah, yeah. That's just yeah. What's up in here? Did you ever do any of the fake stuff, Sean? The fake ecstasy and the fake like wizard smoke or any of that shit? That's probably up in here. And it wasn't cheap either. We were looking at that shit last time. That shit wasn't even cheap. So it's talking about the Fillmore East, back where the Allman Brothers, Grateful Dead, all the good bands used to play. Bill Graham, the promoter, always had the fucking great hippie shit. Jefferson Airplane, all that shit. I was tempted. I think I was tempted by the Stashish back in the day. I almost bought that shit. Yeah, and then they had all of this crazy legal weeds and the Ashana oil and more fake ecstasy. And like we said, some of this shit was kind of real back then. Because like ephedrine, like right here, ephedra. Ephedrine, I believe, is like illegal now. Or, that's what's in like Sudafed. So these rave things. I never took them. Probably, it's not MDMA, but this ephedrine and whatnot. It's like trucker, that's what the truckers took to get all wired up. He did buy a ganja to get a laugh. I know people bought it, and some people had a hard time getting shit back in the day. It was a much different fucking story. Not weed, herbs pressed into a big bud. Yep. Yeah, they had Thai sticks and they had all kinds of fucking bullshit. I got fake sticks on South Street in Philly. In Philly, all kinds of shops and clubs and bars and passing people on the street. And we got this shit. It was almost like this. It was like a wood stick, a thin wood stick with some kind of bud compressed all around it. I don't know what the hell it was. It wasn't weed. We smoked like a touch of it. We're like, what the fuck is this? So, uh, yeah, and then High Times used to be able to send letters into them, and they'd get back to you, talking about different issues or different things. It was a little more personal back in the day. And from what I heard, High Times was bought by the guy from Raw, Josh or whatever, from Raw Papers, from what I understand. Because they definitely don't do the magazine anymore, but they still do they got a YouTube channel. And they supposedly got their own THCA line too. Choking. I've never seen anyone smoke the High Times THCA, but they got their own line. Yeah, and that was the Sturgis issue they did. High Times did something on everything. The bikers, the fucking hippies, heavy metal. It was just all about culture and shit. And this was about, what was this, the LSD experiments. or something like that. So I can kill you. Lucid dreaming. Yep. Yeah, I dream crazy fucking every night. Northern Exposure. I remember when that was on TV. That was pretty popular, that show. It took place in Alaska. And for some reason, it was real popular. It was just kind of a cozy type show. But yeah, this is about drum circles, yeah, all the hippies. The Whole Earth Festival, never heard of that. Cyber piracy. Hemp burgers. I don't like no imitation burgers. T-shirt. What is this? Yeah, the Dutch cannabis cup. This is like the Dutch cup, not even the cannabis cup. And then they list some of the coffee shops and grow shops. Sensi Seeds. I went to Sensi Seed Bank in Australia, in fucking Amsterdam. And they had a museum too. The Hash Hemp Museum right next door. I got some pictures from that. I gotta pull out at some point. In New York Magazine, marijuana in the 90s. I didn't know they did a special. New York Times. Album. Used to be put up on different albums and shit too. You know, it used to be different albums that you would hear about and get put up on. Different books. Talking about raves, rave cultures. Rave culture was a big thing back then, coming up. Can't say I ever went to a rave. What was all of this stuff? Talking about Elton John. Day's World, Harry Anderson, blah, blah. I don't think that was ever a big show. Harry Anderson was from Night Court. Night Court was a popular show when it was on. And then all the videotapes and books you could order from High Times. Chef Ra and How to Grow and all kinds of shit like that. Reefer Madness. Marijuana church founder gets 121 months. Yeah, I'm sure they ain't gonna let you run a cannabis church. And not back in the 90s. Maybe now in California you get away with that shit. What's going on here? Baltimore grand jury supports decriminalization. Yeah, Baltimore's a mess regardless of criminalizing or decriminalizing. Baltimore is broke. None of the kids are graduating school. Baltimore's a mess. New York State, the free low-level convicts. New York State's freeing all kinds of convicts, so that's nothing new. Gingrich Revolution, the crime bill, President Clinton beefing up police and prison budgets, created 60 new death penalties. I hear Florida just created a death penalty for child RAPE and whatnot. So Florida's going pretty hardcore with that. And they used to have the merch. I don't think I ever bought any High Times merch, t-shirts and whatnot. It was reasonable too. And you're talking about the cartels. Is this the Colombian cartel? Yeah, still the same shit going on back then. Right after they killed Pablo Escobar. And now you just got a bunch of people that replace Pablo Escobar, so always somebody gonna replace him, but I don't know if the drugs are getting in the country like they were. Yeah, there's Pablo. Yeah. This guy, another kingpin, another kingpin, another kingpin. You know, some of these kingpins are celebrated down South America. They got their own brand of music that celebrates some of these drug kingpins and their own patron saint that they pray to. So, serious business down here. And they do all the little news sections. Florida sheriff in a pot conspiracy. Joe Newman, 20-year sheriff of Florida's Baker County, faces conspiracy charges for allegedly accepting up to $70,000 from local pot growers and traffickers to tip them off about planned raids. No shit. These dirty cops, man. I guess he was helping people, but he's still a dirty cop. What is this? Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff in like hiding your ID in high times. Different things, scanners to know if your phone is bugged. Banned books. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. What was this? Freedom fighters. You don't see anybody out fighting for Bud anymore. Once it becomes legal, where some people are, they don't really care anymore, so. Florida's still trying to get it on the ballot every election. It's close, it's so close every time, but they never get to do it. More stuff about forfeiture laws. You know, High Times just had a little bit of everything. Music, culture. There's nothing like that now. I was in Walmart the other day and friggin' looking at the magazines. And they had a gardening magazine, at the checkout, and they had a Time magazine. $14.99 for a magazine. I couldn't believe it. $14.99. Who's buying $15 magazines? Talking about Vietnam. Yeah, there's educational shit in here still. What's going on, Crispy Ream? Hope you're chilling. Having a good night. Talking about deadheads up in here. To sticker or not to sticker. Yeah, that was the thing with the Grateful Dead and being a hippie and whatnot. If you had the stickers on your cars, it kind of gave you away. When people saw that skull and lightning bolt, it kind of makes you a little more sticking out to get pulled over. So some people went crazy putting them on their cars, and some people were scared to do it. So... all these things about a drug-free America. They were still doing the DARE project back then. DARE to keep kids off of drugs. And then they got all the kids hooked on freaking pills and OxyContin and whatnot after that generation of people. Now they got them hooked on fentanyl and stuff like that, and still bitching about Bud. Well, they got people hooked on the dirtiest stuff in the world. All kinds of groups for hemp. I guess we got the hemp supporter now. Hopefully they can extend this hemp ban. That would be the shit. Then there's the Hash Marijuana Museum. Went to there in Amsterdam. I gotta find those pictures. It wasn't like some big event, but it was cool. They had some plants growing in there. And, yeah, I remember these buds looking beautiful back in the day Ice Cube was holding. Real fluffy looking homegrown shit. Yeah. And he was popular, he was rapping with NWA before the movie came out, so he was already popular. But I don't think people expected that movie to be such a hit that it was. Smokey. Smokey was a lot of the movie. And the father was a lot of the movie too. Nia Long, yeah, she was hot. Nice short hair, look at that, man. These girls with this crazy hair now, she is hot. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, this guy going out searching. You could look at his fucking eyes, man. The eyes, Chico. You got... yeah, this guy going hunting for mushrooms. I can't say I've ever taken mushrooms that look like that. Like very small, little skinny ones. These India in the ancient rainforest. So, I definitely never tried nothing like looking like those. Rainforest stuff, just some dirty cow poop stuff. Yeah, looking like that. That's the stuff that we. That's the stuff I'm familiar with. Those golden caps. And we got the Allman Brothers. Take a little swig of tea. Seen the Allman Brothers a bunch of times. I don't know how many times. Close to 10. Always a good time. Dickie Betts, one of the best guitarists in rock and roll history. Probably not the nicest person in the world, but where's Dickie? There he is. I know he's got arrested fighting with his son. I think he might have smacked his wife a few times, but he was definitely a hardcore drinker. And I think that should be Dwayne that killed himself on a motorcycle. And someone else got killed too. Yeah, a year later, Barry Oakley plowed his motorcycle into a bus. So 2 members from the band got killed. Both died on impact. 2 members of one band got killed just from riding motorcycles. It's crazy. Dwayne's Harley at the scene of the accident. I mean, the band kept trucking. They didn't really miss a beat, but what could have been if Dwayne never passed away and Barry Oakley, you know, and people, you know, see a bunch of long-haired white people, they think it's you know, somehow racist or something. They had a black dude up in their band you wouldn't expect. A lot of southern rock bands had black folk in there, but people think they're racist because it's southern rock. So talking about Warren Haynes, seen Warren Haynes a bunch of times, seen Tim with the Allman Brothers, My Government Mule, his own band. He still shreds on the guitar, sings, all of that. Barry Oakley Jr., one of the Allman Brothers' sons. Devin Allman, yeah. Some of their sons got bands going on now, I know that. Definitely, and some of the Grateful Dead's sons are in bands. I know the Grateful Dead drummer son has a band. I can't even think of his freaking name right now. What is this? Hakim Bey was some kind of weird spoken word dude. Yeah, I'm not too sure what this was about. Hakim Bey. Some sort of poetic something or other. I don't remember that. A permanent autonomous zone. Sounds like some sort of, I don't know, creating a Taz. Sounds like some the chop up in Seattle that they created, their own little city. I think this was looking more for the mushrooms. We walked past peasants, pilgrims, goats, dogs, a monkey, all vibrantly alive, all beginning to glow, all suspiciously curious. Yeah, on his Indian mushroom trip. Cannabis cup souvenirs. How to make mushroom tea. I tried to make mushroom tea. I think I tried to make mushroom honey one time. Yeah, I did put mushrooms in honey. I don't remember ever using it. But, yeah, we tried. We made it. It's supposed to turn blue when you do it right, as far as I remember. But never tried mushroom tea. What was this? Fat sack. Yeah, people were in a hacky sack back then. You know, little foot bag, kick bag. You get in a circle and everyone kicks the bag to each other. A little like bean bag type deal. Some hippie shit. Good old fun. No computers, no cell phone. You could smoke a joint while you were doing it because your hands were free. You were just kicking with your feet. So what was this? A hemp directory, hemp shoes. Yeah, those hemp shoes are probably expensive as hell. All that stuff was so expensive when it first came out. This was some kind of, I think it was like a Polish band or something. King Unisowitz, surfing school. Some kind of surf music. Surfing music was good back in the day. Definitely up on surf music. What was this? Magazines. How to grow your own stuff. Chef Ra always had his recipes up in there for your ganja recipes and whatnot. And then he'd always tell a little story too. Usually a personal story, something like that. And you got help wanted ads, weird merchandise, Russian ladies, Asian women overseas. Incarcerated 30-year-old, attractive male seeking correspondence and possibly more with open-minded lady, John Louvier. Stark, Florida. I hope he got out by now, shit. Dirty, hot, naked sex, $2.50 a minute. Jesus Christ. All kinds of classifieds. Bumper stickers. People would make t-shirts and sell them back here. Rolling trays. All sorts of freaking sex lines. $3.99 a minute. Malibu Psychics. It better be good for $3.99 a minute, because you know they're keeping you on for like 20 minutes at least. What do we got? Yeah, some little bongs and whatnot, primitive type bongs, or it was like the graphics bong back in the day, plastic bong, which they still sell and some people actually still buy. I'm not sure why. I guess, you know, you're not really going to break it or care if you break it, but I don't know why people are still smoking out of plastic. What is this? Different, more sex ads and whatnot, pipe ads, pee ads, get your pee clean, step-by-step mushroom cultivation, growing to avoid mandatory minimums, see your green bud, which I know nothing about growing, but see your green, as far as I know, is where you grow, you know, small, real short plants, like under 12 inches, and you just keep them like constantly flowering, to my knowledge, and you keep harvesting more. And then people would send in their pictures, what they're growing at their house, some kind of homemade bong this dude made. This dude's bud, some cybersecurity tips, how to hide your data. Yeah, we knew nothing about any of that shit back in the day. How to grow your own shrooms. Not hard, especially now. You can just get yourself a kit and you just dump it in a box, and that's pretty much it. You throw it under your bed, and you may have to put a little water in there. And I had a buddy who did that, and he had more than he can handle. Phototron, I don't know if anyone ever had one of those things. Those seemed popular. I don't know how much you could do with it, but I guess the starter plant would be good. And people growing in their yards. Garden in a month. Blends in nicely there. Yeah, they used to have all kinds of tips on how to blend in your garden with other stuff. Put fake flowers on your garden if you had an outdoor garden. And these were I wouldn't doubt if this company's still in business, the Homestead Book Company. Grow your own shit at home. $70 for the kit. And then if you wanted the video or the books or any of that shit. And let's see, and then this is the prices. People would send in their prices from all across the country, what was going on in their area, how much for an eighth, how much for a quarter. And then for other stuff too, this dude is getting hash, domestically made, all glands, $5 a gram. That was pretty good. What else? Some people would get an LSD down here, LSD 25, blue lesbians, bad, don't do, $8 a hit. So the blue lesbians weren't good back in the day. Here's red butterfly, white blotter with the big scary butterfly imprinted. I ate two and got lost that night. The whole island was tripping balls out. $5 a hit. I don't know what that stuff is like these days. If anybody does that shit, I ain't done that shit in God know how long. Oh, the gel caps. Remember the gel caps? Clean $5. Shrooms, brown caps, white stems, 2 to 3 grams for good visuals. $10 a gram, 45 a quarter. That's not bad. That's not bad. And the bud, here, bud, grade A bud, 480 an ounce. Some of the ounce prices for good bud back in the day for good indoor were ridiculous. Con standard hydro, over chemicalized, get you baked, 100 a quarter, 375 an ounce in New York City. More in New York, 350 an ounce. Canada had some bullshit. 275 an ounce. I don't know if it was something in the water or what with Canada. Like I said, we used to get that B bud. Even in Florida, we get it, and it looked like little popcorn nugs. They all look like the same size and the same thing, and they looked pretty, but they like really didn't do shit, nothing for you. So I don't know what was going on up there, what they were sending down here, but yeah, these were always cool to look at. People sending in what's in their area. And then more ads. Get your urine clean. More ads. And you can send in more letters in the back of the magazine for like growing questions. Dude got sick plants. And then they answer your growing questions. Of course, by the time you send in your letter and this dude responds to you and you get the magazine, your plants may be in trouble by that fucking point. Jesus Christ. I guess that's the beauty of the internet. And then talking about lights. Lights is a whole other thing. People growing it today with all the LEDs. The old growers still say the HPS is the best. That's what they were using in the 90s. The spectrum of light is better. It does produce all kinds of heat and whatnot, but they still say that's the best shit. More stuff about growing. The Hash Marijuana Hemp Museum in Amsterdam. Like I said, we went there. Not the most impressive place. Everything's small in Amsterdam. Nothing is big. The way everything is big here. Cloud 9. Never took any of that bullshit. Fake ecstasy. Yeah, here's the Wizard Smoke. Yuba Gold, Alice's Secret, the Black Opium, all kinds of fake stuff. Mint Beaties is a regular rolled cigarette. I believe they smoke in India. They look like joints. And they probably got a little buzz to it, but it's not, nothing special. Probably better for you than a cigarette. And then more ads, fucking growing tips, order old high times, the back issues. You got your hotties back here. Let's see what it is. More on finishing up on shrooms, and that's what they do. They'd start an article and then they'd finish it up like in the end of the magazine, continued from page 79, continued from page 82. It's like, people are all fucked up. Can't you just put that shit in one article? By the time you forgot you were reading it, and then you get to the end, you're like, oh shit, I was reading that. All kinds of freaky stuff, magazines, get your freaky magazines. Get your freaking $4 a minute chat lines. Then you got your end of the magazine with the, what they call it, the Hemp 100, where people would usually, down the bottom, I guess you'd draw your little drawing, you'd send it in to the address here, and then they'd recreate it and put it up on here. And it was basically all different bands: Fish, Katie Lang, the Black Crowes, Pearl Jam, Pink Floyd, different sayings, people talking to their freaking girlfriends. I miss you, I love you, Yvonne, come back to Boston and stay stoned with me forever. It was cool. Just wake and bake, just cool stuff. Stoned again, like a, I don't know if they call it a Facebook wall or something like that, but this may have been the original type wall. And you'd find stuff back here. You'd find bands that, you never heard of. Politics, I Smell a Rat, Bill Clinton, the Kids in the Hall TV show, which I may have seen a couple of them, I don't know. Love was an excellent band. What was his name? Arthur Lee. Excellent singer, guitarist. If you like Hendrix, you'd like Love. Frank Zappa. I never got too into Zappa. I like him, but I never got too into Frank Zappa. Green Day. I was into them back in the day. They were a little, they still think they're punk for some reason. Be sure to get your vaccine before you go to their punk show, because they're about, resisting. So, cut your job, get a hair. So I haven't looked at this shit in so long. Dan Hickson's Acoustic Warriors, which I got a Dan Hicks album. Dan Hicks and the Hot Licks. They were excellent back in the day. They were pretty popular too. A lot of deadheads like Dan Hicks. And I love my country, but I fear my government. The Grateful Who. Let's see, Ween. I just saw some old Ween videos the other day. Not a big Ween fan, but somehow I came across some old live shows. A lot of people big on Ween, especially back in the day. Cypress Hill. What's going on? Yeah, Cypress Hill. Like I said, Be Real still got a channel. Be Real TV 2. He spins live records almost every night. Him and a guy from the Beat Nuts do a live DJ set almost every night. I thought I said Criss Cross, which is a rap group. Red Cross, I don't know what the hell that is. Some radio stations, the Beatles. Blues Times, Blues Radio Show. You find shit you just didn't know about. Rage Against the Machine was coming up. Them too, I think they wanted you to get vaccinated before their show, so I'm not sure what machine they rage against. Different record companies. Yeah, your forefathers talking about they grew hemp. Now your current forefathers are talking about banning hemp. And that's all it is. So be it. Friends don't let friends bogart blunts. Yeah, people used to bogart the shit out of blunts back in the day. Start telling stories, forgetting about the take two and pass and shit. The Bronx Bongers. One has a moral duty to disobey unjust laws. Dr. Martin Luther King. I think that's about it, folks. This shit, Browntown Looters. I don't think they ever became anything. We almost lost it there. Concrete Funk. So, that's pretty much it, folks. I don't know how many people caught this shit, but y'all catch it on a rerun. We gotta figure out how to do the fucking notifications for this thing, because I'm not doing it right. And then, we'll shoot again for next Friday to do something like this. I'm gonna figure out the goddamn notifications by then, so hopefully we'll be straight. Alright, folks. Y'all be good. Peace.